Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Junior Star from Mac 3 Music, and today we are going to talk about parallel compression. Now, you may or may not have heard the term parallel compression before. It's also known as the New York compression, and it's really a dynamic range compression technique used in song recording and mixing. It's achieved by mixing an unprocessed or dry or maybe a slightly compressed signal along with a heavily compressed signal to give, if it's drums you're working on, a dynamic range. It's mostly used in the hip hop genre, and I know in some genre we also use it on voices as well. But for today, we are just going to be using it on the drums. And let me just say that I'm using Logic Pro right now. Those of you who looked at my previous video, you will know that I am a Studio One user. However, when it comes to making beats, if I'm on the MPC, I'm actually in Logic Pro. Today we are actually going to use the ESXS24 sampler, and we are going to get that classic 808 drums. So let's dive right in. Now we have the EXS 808 sampler with the drum that I have already programmed. It's completely dry, no processing, no EQing, anything like that. So let's take a listen to it, and then we're going to dive right into parallel compressing. Alright, so here goes. Let's forget about that overload. Okay, so there you have it, completely dry 808, and if we were to go inside the piano roll, you would see it's on a 16D string. It has already been quantized, and as I said before, no processing or anything like that. Alright, so how are we going to parallel compress this drum track? Well, let's get rid of the piano roll. First thing we need to do is we need to create or to send this dry track, this dry signal, to an auxiliary bus, and we are going to send that onto a stereo bus. So let's go to the mixer window. We are going to be primarily working from the mixer window, and we are going to send this dry signal across to a bus. We're going to send it across the auxiliary 1, and it's going to be on a stereo track. So this 808 drum, being the dry signal, is going to be routed across onto auxiliary 1, which is bus 1, and we are going to parallel compress it. Now to parallel compress it, we need to insert some plugins, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go into our dynamics and insert the compressor. Now in the compressor, I am going to slam this compressor pretty hard. I am going to just boost that like 10 decibels. Here we go, and I'm going to use a 4:1 ratio. There we go. So once again, I boost the gain up to 10 decibels, and the ratio is going to be 4:1. And the attack and the release, I can leave it as 10 millisecond and 48 millisecond respectively. Knee, I'm just going to put the knee just a little bit. Let's see what we can do about that knee. That's fine. And yeah, that's it for the compressor. Now we are actually going to put in an EQ. For this example, I'm going to use the channel EQ. And on the channel EQ, I am going to go to both ends of the stereo feed, and I am going to boost 100 hertz. So let's get this to 100 hertz first of all. I'm going to boost this up 10 decibels, and I'm going to go to 1000 hertz, and I'm also going to boost this up 10 decibels as well. So 100 hertz hertz boosted to 10 decibels and 1000 hertz boosted to 10 decibels as well. Okay, now let's see what's going to happen now. Now, as I said, parallel compression is really about mixing a wet signal that was being sent across with the dry signal. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull this down to minus infinity, and I'm going to send this across, which is the dry signal, across to the wet signal. I'm probably going to use like minus 15 thereabout. See what it sounds like. Alright, so I'm going to send this dry signal across to the wet, the compression bus, and slowly bring this wet signal up behind it, and let's see what we're going to have. Alright, so now let's play the dry signal. And while that dry signal is playing, I am going to slowly bring this compression signal up behind it, and you will see the level meter on that particular track start moving up. And if you're listening really carefully, you're going to hear the drum start coming to life a little bit. Alright, so now you can hear the difference. I'm going to just mute this wet signal, and you hear the drums went straight back down, and it's lifeless right now. And then I'm going to just drop back in the compressed signal, and the drums just came to life. Once again, I'm going to mute it, and your drums just went back down, and I'm going to unmute it. There we go. Alright, so far so good. Now let's go back into the compressor, and what I'm going to do is, while that signal is playing, I'm going to take the threshold down a little bit until I can see like about 6 decibels of gain reduction. Alright, so let's play. Right now there is no gain reduction happening, so I'm going to just move the threshold down, actually inching up. Alright, so right now I have like about, let's say a little bit like 6 decibels of gain reduction. So I'm just probably going to just push this up a little bit here to make up for that gain reduction. Alright, there we go. Now while listening to that, you can still actually hear the type of paperish feel on the dry track. So we're going to take care of that a little bit right now. So I'm going to go onto the dry track, and I am going to use an EQ. In this case, I'm going to use a fat EQ. And around let's say 500 hertz, not 6 but 500. I'm actually going to roll off a little bit and tighten the Q up a little, and let's see how we sound. So let's roll off some of that 500 hertz. That's normally where that boxy feeling comes from. Alright, I'm going to tighten the Q up a little bit. I'm also going to roll off a little bit at the 200 hertz. And tighten up the Q. And since I had previously boosted 1000 hertz on the compressed signal, I'm going to just roll off this here on the dry signal. Alright, there we go. Alright, now let's bypass this and listen. There's that boxy feeling coming back again. And now with the EQ back in, the boxy feeling has gone. So we have the dry signal running through the EQ across into this auxiliary bus and the parallel compression with it. So once again, I'm going to mute the parallel compression, and you will hear that the drums became lifeless. And now I'm just going to drop the parallel compressed signal in, and your drums actually just came to life a little bit. Alright, and there we go. That's all there it. So once again, parallel compression. You're sending a dry signal across, heavily compress it, and then you're bringing up that wet signal behind the original dry signal. I'm going to put some links in the comments whereby you can reach us, and if you have any questions or comments, you please feel free to ask. Please feel free to subscribe and like, and once again, thanks for viewing, and I will see you in the next video.